Sebring is an international baccalaureate student and an accomplished thespian at St. Petersburg High School. She spent part of her summer involved with the famed Broadway Artists Alliance Intensive Program in New York City. The program is open to aspiring future Broadway artists and taught in the heart of the theater district by Tony Award-winning performers and top casting directors.
Katie is a student that came into my classroom and was just bursting with energy and excitement, and I knew immediately that she was going to be somebody that was going to be active in my program, and I couldn't wait to work with her. She just has a fun spirit. As you can see, she's very sweet and kind and someone that you want to work with, and that's what directors like. They want to work with somebody that's going to be excited to be there and willing to work hard, and someone that's dedicated that people like to be around.
I guess I've always been interested in theater since I was a little girl. My parents put me in some summer camps. I did some productions. I just always loved it, and loved expressing yourself through other characters. I thought that was always fun. And yeah, I always enjoyed it. It got a little disconnected in elementary school and middle school because we didn't really have it as much. But then we had a musical in 8th grade, and I was a part of it, and it was just so much fun that made me want to do it in high school. And then when I came into high school, I just learned so much more about it from our teacher, Miss Gruns, and then all the troupe, and everyone's just so awesome.
Katie came in with kind of more of a natural ability to just kind of take on things and kind of a knowing of pace and tempo and things like that.
I like it all, honestly, but musical theater is my favorite. Yeah, I like singing different genres, pop, musical theater. It's kind of similar these days with like the new modern musicals and stuff like that. But yeah, and then with dancing, I love hip hop and jazz, that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to learn tap because I know that's used in a lot of theater these days. So, but yeah, it's all super fun. I have a voice teacher, and she came to see me in the musical, and she recommended this program that her daughter did because her daughter's in the theater too. And yeah, she just told me to apply and audition, and I did, and yeah, and it was a great program. There were all these kids who are also passionate about theater coming from all around the country, and we kind of just learn from each other and take classes like an intensive, and we work on our singing and dancing skills, acting skills through these workshops, and we kind of have our own piece that we're working on with some helpers and advisors, and the whole point is to perfect it enough where we can perform it for casting directors and agents at the end to kind of get ourselves on their page and to see if they ever want to use us or something. It was different there because it was just a little more scary because you had to perform in front of like agents and that kind of stuff. But I feel like here prepares you for all of that.
I think it's great. I think anytime a student can have the experience of working with Broadway professionals and casting directors, they can only get better. Anyone they work with that's a professional, it's just more networking, which is a lot of this business, and it's more tools they can put in their toolbox, you know, and this person can influence them in one way, this person can influence them in another, and help them develop this skill or that skill or a different skill. I think it all kind of, you know, comes into play later on. As an actress myself, I've had that same experience working with different people.
I never realized how everyone has their own perspective on theater, and I thought it was just really cool to see how everyone thought of it, and how really you can just fully be yourself through theater and express your own kind of feeling through all these different materials. And it's just really cool to see how much of yourself you can like put into this whole thing, and how it doesn't always have to be so like strictly based, like when you do the whole business, because it's a hard industry, and if you just make it like as fun as you can, you can just have a great time with it, which is why a lot of people do it, because they love it so much and it's their passion and that kind of stuff. I was hoping that in college I could double major and possibly do theater as a major and just see where that takes me. I was going to take some classes, and then hopefully after I could try to go to New York or somewhere and just like audition a bunch and see if it gets me anywhere.
The referendum funds are great because they really help me maintain the musical theater class and my students that go to competition. It helps them with scholarships because with that money, we regularly ask for an accompanist for our class who also goes with them to competitions and, if need be, scholarship auditions. They're also a vocal trainer, and they also come in and help them sometimes with difficult things that are a little harder for me to communicate, and they communicate differently. They communicate musically, and I don't communicate musically. So the vocal accompanist that we've used in the past few years, Miss Brenda, as they call her, Brenda Danowitz, who's a retired music teacher in the county, comes and helps them so much figure things out in a way that my mind doesn't do because I'm approaching it from an acting standpoint. And we just ping pong each other. And if it wasn't for referendum funds, my students wouldn't go into their showcase, which we do at the end of the year, or into the musicals, or into competitions with quite the, chops to do so well that they do and to grow their skills.